In this video, we're going to talk about multiplication of mixed numbers using two different strategies. We're going to do examples where we have the area model and partial products, and then we're going to talk about multiplying mixed numbers as fractions. And let's start with the first problem here, first example, 2 1/4 times 1/2. So for the area model and partial products, we're going to start by drawing a box, and we're going to put 2 1/4 here multiplied by 1/2, and we're going to divide the whole number from the fraction. And then here it works like a multiplication chart where the 2 and the 1/2 are going to meet in this box. So in this box, we will do the multiplication problem 2 times 1/2. And as we've talked about in class, 2 over 1 is what 2 is as a fraction. And then we just multiply it straight across. So 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So 2 times 1/2 equals 2 halves or 1. Then we go to this box here, and 1/4 and 1/2 meet in this box. So we will do 1/4 times 1/2. And again, we multiply the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. So 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is 8. So 1/4 times 1/2 equals 1/8. Once we've reached that point, we're going to take what's our answer from this partial product from this box and add it to this partial product from this box. So 1 and 1 plus 1/8 equals 1 and 1/8. That's one method for multiplying of mixed numbers. The other strategy is multiplying mixed numbers as fractions. And the first thing we're going to do with that is we're going to take 2 1/4 and turn it into a fraction or an improper fraction. And to do that, we take the whole number and then we multiply it by the denominator and add the numerator. So we'll take 2 times 4 plus 1, and in this case, that equals 9. The denominator stays the same, so 2 1/4 equals 9/4. Now that we've turned our mixed number into a fraction or an improper fraction, now we can multiply this by the other factor. So we're now going to take 9/4 times 1/2. And again, we take numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and we get 9/8. You can leave your answer as an improper fraction, or you can turn it into a mixed number. To turn it into a mixed number, we'll take our 9/8 and make it a division problem, because fractions are division problems. 9 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract and we get 1. So we have 1 remainder 1. Now to turn this into a mixed number, 1 becomes a whole number. The remainder becomes a new numerator, and all that goes over the denominator of 1/8. So as you can see, no matter which strategy you use, 1 1/8 or 1 1/8 is the answer that you will get for both problems. For the next sample problem, we're going to do 4 2/3 times 2 1/4, and we're going to start again with a box. This time it's going to be a little bit bigger because both numbers are mixed numbers this time. So 4 2/3 times 2 1/4, and because it's two mixed numbers, this time it's going to have 4 different sections for it. And again, just like a multiplication chart, the 4 and 2 will meet in this box, the 2/3 and the 2 will meet in this box, and so on. First problem, 4 times 2 is 8. 2/3 times 2 will go in this box. 2/3 times 2, and we're going to write that as a fraction, so 2/1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. We're having problems with the pen here. So for this one, it's going to be 4/3. Down here, 4 times 1/4. And we're going to make that 4/1, which is going to be 4/4, or 1. And in the last section, it will be 2/3 times 1/4, which is going to equal 2/12. 2/12. Now, once we have that, we can go ahead and add up all 4 sections now. We're going to have 8, 1, 4/3, and 2/12. Now, before we add up, we have a choice with this number right here. We can leave it how it is, or we can turn it into a mixed number. For this problem, we're just going to leave it as an improper fraction. Before we can add up, we have to find a common denominator for 3 and 12. To do that, I'm going to find my multiples of 3 and of 12. And I'm going to start with 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. And since this is 12 and this is 12, I don't have to find any other numbers. We're going to use 12 as our common denominator. 2/12 stays the same. 3 times 4 is 12. So if I do 3 times 4, I have to do the same thing to the numerator. 4 times 4 is 16. Now I can add 16/12 plus 2/12, which is going to equal 18/12. Now that I've added those up, I'm going to add up the 2 whole numbers. 8 plus 1 is 9, and I have 9 and 18/12. I could stop there, or I could rename 18/12 into a mixed number. To do that, I'm running out of space here. To do that, we're going to do 18 divided by 12. There's one group of 18, or one group of 12 and 18. 1 times 12 is 12. I'll have 6 left over. So 1 becomes my whole number. 6 is my denominator. 6 is my numerator. 12 is my denominator. Then I can take the 9 and add that to 1 and 6/12, which is going to give me 10 and 6/12. And I could simplify 6/12 into 1/2, 10 and 1/2. Finishing up with the last example, we're going to do one more multiplying mixed numbers as fractions. So we need to start by turning our 2 mixed numbers into fractions. So 4 and 2/3 and 2 and 1/4. Again, we take the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator, which is going to give us 4 times 3 plus 2, which is 14/3. Then for 2 and 1/4, 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. And again, the denominator stays the same, so 9/4. Now, to multiply these together, we're going to take the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. For this, 3 times 4 is 12. 14 times 9 is 126. So we have 126 twelfths. Now we could leave it at that, leave it as that, or we could turn it back into a mixed number. To do that, we're going to take 126 divided by 12. There's no groups of 12 in 1, but there is one group of 12 in 12. 1 times 12 is 12. We subtract and we get 0. 0 is less than 12. So our next step is to bring down the 6. And then we go back through the process again, divide. There are no groups of 12 in 6. So put a 0 up here. 0 times 12 is 0. We subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 6 is less than 12. There's no more numbers to bring down, so our remainder is 6. 10 becomes our numerator, or excuse me, our whole number. Our remainder is always our numerator, and then the denominator doesn't change. So 10 and 6 twelfths, and again, we could turn 6 twelfths, or we could simplify 6 twelfths and come up with 10 and 1/2. So both strategies, area model and partial products, or multiplying mixed numbers as fractions, are useful strategies, and you can choose the one that works best for you. Make sure if you have any questions you ask your teacher, and see you in the next video.